Hello, welcome back to Whisky Wednesday. Another Wednesday, another whisky review with me, Joe. So, thank you to all who voted in my Twitter poll last week that I put out, voting for my next series of reviews. And the results came back in, and it was 38% in favour. Don't know if you can see that actually. 38% in favour of my Glengoyne vertical review, which is very exciting. Random bottle sample and Bunnahabhain PX cask both reached 27%. And a Brave Ale Malt cask, single cask, was 8%. Thank you to everyone that voted. I'm going to be doing more of those in the future. They're quite a fun way of getting reviews. So Glengoyne, over the next 4 weeks, we'll be doing a lot of Glengoyne reviewing. I've reviewed Glengoyne last week, the Glengoyne Scottish Oak. So starting today, I've got this little set which I picked up at the distillery when I went last year. It covers a 10-year-old, the 15 and the 18. Let's start with the 10. I've also got a bottle of your own distillery cask which I filled and signed and whatnot. That is awesome, so I'll review that in between the 15 and the 18 so that I can go down. It was just to show you. So, 10-year-old Glengoyne. Now, Glengoyne is a Highland malt technically, although they have warehouses in the lowlands, so it's almost kind of like a double region, but it's technically a Highland whisky. It's non-peated. They use hot air to dry their barley, and they're famous for using sherry casks, and I've just broken that, but it doesn't matter because I'm going to pour all this out into the glass. Nice healthy measure of Glengoyne 10-year-old. It's natural colour. It's bottled at 40%. Here we go. Glengoyne 10-year-old. This is approximately around about £30 a bottle, so it's not a bad price either for what you get. So, natural colour, which for an entry-level whisky, for something that's, you know, at a very affordable price, I like the fact that it is presented in natural colour. I do like that. Okay, straight away you smell red apple. And it's specifically red apple, that kind of slightly kind of more sweeter, not quite as tart as you kind of like if you're Granny Smithy or Pink Lady. Kind of red, you know, kind of red powdery apple you get. I also get brown sugar. I get imagine you're making an apple sponge cake, that kind of thing. It's that kind of very soft, cakey, slightly kind of caramelised. Just give it a slight swirl. Okay. There's a little bit of a, I want to say a very, very slight aniseed note. Really, 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 really faint. Imagine kind of the, you know those blackjack chews that you get in the UK? I'm not sure if you get them elsewhere. Very, very, really subtle aniseed. It's quite a simple nose. Caramel. You get a lot of malt, which you would expect from malt whisky, but certain malt whiskies are maltier than others, where you can actually genuinely smell that kind of malty barley. Okay, let's give it a taste. It's fairly, I'd say it's light to medium in the mouth, texture-wise. It's a very easygoing, very, very simple, very soft whiskey. There's not a huge amount to it in terms of like layers of flavour, but for something that's 10 years old, for something that's roughly about £30, you're not expecting to get kind of mind-blowing levels of complexity. Right, let's give it another taste. Second taste, you get a bit more of the sherry cask, because there is some sherry cask used for this 10-year-old, only a little bit. And imagine, you know Stollen, the kind of German Christmas cake, German festive cake. It's like that, so you get that kind of subtle raisin note, a little bit of the marzipan coming from the ex-American oak casks I use. But it's not full-on rich fruit sherry. It's that kind of subtle almondy, marzipan-y, apple-y with a little bit of that raisin going on as well. Let's have one final taste. On the finish, I get a little bit of lemongrass actually. It's kind of slightly uplifting on the finish after the third sip. Look, it's a very, very easy, very safe whiskey. For a beginner, it's perfect, okay? It's a perfect introduction to the world of malt whiskey in terms of something that offers more flavour than your kind of entry-level blended whiskey. There's more going on, there's a bit more richness on the palate, but it's still a relatively simple, kind of inoffensive whiskey. Score-wise, for that very reason, I'm going to give it a 7 out of 10. It's not a whiskey that you're tasting and go, oh my word, this is incredible, it's blown me away with its complexity, but it's solid and it's made well. It's 7 out of 10 from me. If you've tried the Glengoyne 10-year-old, please let me know what you think. Leave me a comment in the box below. What I do like about it, I like the fact that it's natural colour and it is bottled at 40% and it's an affordable price. 7 out of 10. Thank you for watching, and I will see you next week for yet another whiskey review from the Glengoyne range. Cheers guys, bye bye.